Today marks 1 year since the Hamas attack on Israel.
That event sparked a war that's showing no signs of slowing down. Our Hannah Cotter is live in Providence with how communities locally are commemorating the lives lost on that day. Hannah?
Well, Kim, Shannon, Rhode Islanders are remembering the lives lost on both sides of this conflict on October 7th and in the year since the war started.
Really throughout the whole year, it's been just a lot of mourning, a lot of difficult conversations, and a lot of praying.
The Jewish Alliance of Greater Rhode Island is hosting an evening of remembrance this October 7th, one of several events planned around the state to mark the 1 year since the Israel-Hamas war began.
On solemn anniversaries like this, it's a Jewish tradition to really come together, and so that's what we're going to do. We're going to come together, we're going to mourn those who we lost, we're going to say prayers for the safety of the hostages.
The Hamas attack on Israel last year left 1,200 people dead, while about 250 others were taken as hostages. Most victims were civilians. Israel responded immediately after the attack with air and ground operations in Gaza. The Associated Press reports 41,000 Palestinians have died in the war. Nearly half were women and children. On Saturday, several groups, including Brown University Students for Justice in Palestine, held a rally in Providence, marching down the capital city streets, waving flags and holding signs.
We're here to stand in solidarity with the Palestinian people after a year of genocide, after 40,000 Palestinians in Gaza have been murdered, and now as Israel's violence spreads to Lebanon, we're here to call attention to that violence.
With tension escalating between Israel and Lebanon, President Biden says an all-out war has to be avoided. In a statement today, the president said in part, quote, "We will not stop working to achieve a ceasefire deal in Gaza that brings the hostages home, allows for a surge in humanitarian aid to ease the suffering on the ground, assures Israel's security, and ends this war." Hear from members of Rhode Island's congressional delegation coming up at 6. We're live in Providence. Hannah Cotter, 12 News.
It's been 1 year since Hamas' terror attack on Israel killed 1,200 people. Nearly 100 hostages are still in captivity, and Israel is fighting on two fronts in Gaza and Lebanon.
Around the world, the day has been marked with solemn remembrances for the lives lost and protests against the ongoing war. While the exact numbers are still unclear, the AP reports 41,000 Palestinians and 1,700 Israelis have been killed over the past year.
Hannah Cotter is in Providence with more on how local communities are remembering those who lost their lives. Hannah?
Well, Kim, Shannon, Rhode Islanders are remembering the lives lost on both sides of this conflict as war rages on in the Middle East.
October 7th is a tragedy in a long line of tragedies for the Jewish people.
The Jewish Alliance of Greater Rhode Island is hosting an evening of remembrance Monday night to honor the lives lost last October 7th when Hamas attacked Israel.
To really commemorate loss, but also to really be in community, to understand that we're still here and we're still here together.
Several groups, including Brown University Students for Justice in Palestine, held a rally in Providence over the weekend in solidarity with the Palestinian people.
After a year of genocide, after 40,000 Palestinians in Gaza have been murdered, and now as Israel's violence spreads to Lebanon, we're here to call attention to that violence.
President Joe Biden released a statement Monday marking the anniversary of the start of the war, saying in part, quote, "We will not stop working to achieve a ceasefire deal in Gaza that brings the hostages home, allows for a surge in humanitarian aid to ease the suffering on the ground, assures Israel's security, and ends this war." Similar sentiments from members of Rhode Island's congressional delegation.
We recognize the suffering of the Israeli people, but we also, I think, recognize the suffering has been widespread at this point, and steps we can take to reduce the violence, to develop a stable relationship with all the countries in that region are important now as they ever have been.
More local reaction on our website, WPRI.com. Live tonight in Providence, Hannah Cotter, 12 News.